Aí, galera. Pronto. A gente vai terminar essas missões secundárias aqui que apareceram. E tá tudo fechado, né? Ajude o reposto de mar. Ah, tá, tem outra missão no programa. Tem uma missão aqui. Tá, vamos ajudar o repouso de Marta, então. Porra. Vai platinar. Ó, estamos ao vivo na Twitch, no YouTuber, sem delay, e também na Kik. Cara, o preço que tu compra o R55 hoje, tu compra um monitor de 34, cara. Lá no meu site tem.
Martha, it's good to see you.
And you, Clive. Jill?
Otto said you'd been attacked by a Kashik. What exactly happened here?
Those skies are what happened. Not long after they fell dark, we had our first visit. There were hundreds of them. Tried to storm the hill. Only a handful made it up here, but that was more than enough. The rest are still down there now. And while we have a few willing fighters holding them back, they're sorely outnumbered.
What do you think, Clive?
That we join the fight?
I thought you'd never offer. Now, where I need you is the Fallen Gate. That's where the fighting is fiercest. Let the men know you've come to help. Something tells me they'll be pleased to see you.
We're on our way.
If they...
Do you think there are as many as Martha says?
More.
If they ain't clawing at the gates, they're climbing up the cliffs near the lift. The lads are doing what they can to keep them out, But unlike the Academy,
Não aguento mais Final Fantasy XVI. Pô, o Alanzoca tá jogando Up. Only Up. Maneira a live dele. É um jogo que tu vai subindo pra cima.
The barricades we've set up around the town won't hold the Akashic back for long. Might buy us a few moments to say our last farewells, though.
Olha a guerra do Final Fantasy. Tem um soldado aqui e um soldado aqui. Tem mais 3 aqui.
Clive, wounded.
We deal with the Akashic first.
Isso tá acontecendo porque o último lançou um poder aqui em cima de Valitia. Ah, eu matei aquele inimigo que a gente não tava conseguindo matar. Eu matei ele. Eu fui testar ontem o fone. Aí eu fui nele e matei ele.
If you've come to rob this place,
You are mistaken, my Lord Rosfield. We're here by Madame Martha's leave.
how do you know my name?
Forgive me, my lord. There wasn't time for introductions. We're with the Guardians of the Flame.
Wade's men? But how did you come to be here? Where is your commander?
Sir Wade left earlier with a scouting party to find out where the Akashic were coming from.
Did he? Take your wounded back to the inn. Martha will see you're looked after. We'll join you anon.
Pô, e ontem, cara, aquela hora que o Dion jogou a lança no Olivier, o Olivier morreu.
to think you took them for
Que ele virou
thieves.
purpurina.
A fine reward for holding off the horde, that is.
When did Wade and his men arrive?
Not long after Rosalith fell, the Guardians asked me to shelter some of them that had lost their homes. They were making ready to leave just as the skies turned, and we agreed it was best we stuck together.
Martha! Trouble! The scouting party's almost at the lift, but they got a pack of Akashic snapping at their heels! And they got wounded with them! They're not gonna make it!
Damn it all.
We'll worry about them, Martha.
You look after everyone here. If any can still fight, send them to the lift.
I will. You two be safe now.
Looked like the Guardians were going as quick as they could, but without any injured. They might make it to the cliff.
É, realmente as missões secundárias são horríveis mesmo. Tem nenhuma profundidade, só besteira.
Squire, I need you to get those who can still walk up the lift to Martha's. But what about... I didn't ask, Oscar. Sir.
So Wade.
Lord Rossfield. If you aren't a sight for sore eyes.
Martha seemed to think you might need some help. And by the looks of it...
We thought we could sneak by them. But we didn't know there would be so many. How could we have?
Behind you!
Caralho, uma super tartaruga.
Damn it! We need to get the injured to safety.
Do you think we can hold them off?
We can certainly try. Are you with us, Sir Wade?
Always.
Then let's do our duty.
Tá muito alto o som pra vocês? Vocês reclamam demais, sabe o que vocês merecem? Um Xbox.
Is anyone hurt?
I don't think so.
And yet again, you've pulled me from the flames. It's just a pity I keep walking into them.
You've never been one to shy away from danger, Sir Wade. Like any shield worthy of the name.
I see you're all in one piece.
Martha!
Is something wrong?
The lookout saw smoke coming from down Eastpool way. Too thick to be a hearth.
A second horde.
Feel like finishing the job.
Always.
Jill and I will make for Eastpool. You'll need to move the injured without us.
Don't you worry about them.
The moment my men are safe, I'll follow. Good luck.
Agora todo ano eles terão um código novo, né? É, pica. Código é foda mesmo. Pitfall agora é do X. Pô, a Microsoft podia comprar a Sony, né, cara? E aí a gente ia ter todos os jogos do PlayStation no Game Pass. Não era melhor? Aí todo mundo comprava Xbox.
They're headed for the rest.
Caralho, matei geral. Chocobo velho. Porra, também o susto, também tinha crashado.
Something's coming.
Apologies, my lord. Did I miss anything?
Only the first round, so wait. Shall we?
Não. Eu joguei 15 horas de Devil May Cry fadigando de tanto combar, imagina esse Final Fantasy. Pô, mas a história do Devil May Cry é idiota. Final Fantasy tá bacana, cara.
Do you see any more?
No. I think that was the last of them.
See my stream, see my rola,
It
Dark.
won't be long before the next lot arrive.
Do you want to see my
Wait for
rola?
Martha's while we can.
What did you find out there?
The same as Sir Wade. Scores of Akashic.
Well, wherever they came from, they're gone now. Our lookouts say the lowlands are clear. Hopefully we'll have enough time to lick our wounds.
How many of your men were injured?
Aí a mulher?
Damn sight less than if you hadn't turned up.
Paguei.
Thank you.
It was a hard-fought victory. But as long as the skies remain dark, I fear the Akashic's numbers are only going to rise. It's not a matter of if the Horde will be back, but when. And whether that's sooner or later, we'll need to be ready. The inn here affords a good view of the land, and is easily defendable. I'd like to make this one of our outposts.
What do you say, Martha? You'd have more men to guard the rest.
Well, when you put it like that, of course they can stay.
Ah, o gráfico do Devil May Cry é 1 milhão de vezes melhor que isso aqui, não tem nem comparação.
My lord, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Oscar, over here.
Ó, galera, me ajudem a bater todos os recordes do Prime Day aí. A mensagem está fixada. Ontem os esquerdistas tentaram me cancelar. E acabou que eu vendi mais de 650 paradas no Prime Day. Agora eu preciso bater o recorde, beleza? Se você for comprar qualquer coisa. Tem uma parada que tá com uma promoção muito boa lá, que é o ketchup da Heinz. Tá com uma promoção muito boa. Você tá parecendo o Monark fazendo drama com a palavra cancelar. Mas claro que eu tô fazendo drama. Olha a minha cara de quem tá preocupado em ser cancelado.
It is an honor to make your acquaintance, Lord Rossfield. I am Oscar. Oscar of House Murdoch.
Murdoch? I wasn't aware the Lord Commander had children.
Oh, he didn't. But his brother, my father, did. I am Sir Rodney's nephew. Well, go on then. It's not for me to ask him.
Comprou lá ontem. Ah, eu li tua mensagem lá, mas já tá, eu tô usando a NV12 já. Hoje à tarde a gente entrou aqui, tem muita limitação pra streamar com HDR.
I would learn the duties of a shield from the finest.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Oscar, but I'm a shield no longer. Nor was I ever the finest. And spending time in the company of an outlaw hardly seems a fitting education for one aspiring to take his oaths.
My Aunt Hannah once told me that a man is not defined by his title, but what he does in its name. You have accomplished much since taking on the mantle of Cid, winning no little honor in so doing. And I would sooner serve under an honorable outlaw than an unworthy shield. Not that Sir Wade and the other Guardians are... I mean to say that, they're...
It's all right. We know what you mean. There is only so much the boy can learn from me, my lord.
But a squire...
Would that really be so bad? You were a squire once. And I'm certain Sir Rodney would approve.
Know that I'll show you as much leniency as your uncle showed me.
Valeu, MP.
I would not have it any other way.
Pinceli 0 virou Prime. Salva Baltar, tamo junto menor. Enche o saco no chat, mas é só porque não acho o PlayStation tão melhor nessa geração.
I will not let you down, Lord Rossfield. You or my uncle.
We shall be staying here for the time being, and not just for the ale. I'll have one of my men escort Oscar to Benamir once he's said his farewells.
O PlayStation, ele... é melhor assim, cara. Eu acho ele uma opção melhor que o Xbox. Pelo menos tu tem um Final Fantasyzinho. É uma merda, gráfico feio pra caralho. É, mas pô, melhor que ficar jogando Redfall. Ficar combando com o Duff comunista. O foda do Xbox, cara, de tu jogar online, é que tu tá lá jogando online na moral, pô, vem um capim de repente jogar contigo. Vem o Dufão.
I saw it with my own eyes. The whole of Oriflamme under...
No PC vem hacker. É só tu ligar o firewall.
I can't do it.
Faz igual o Kaká, se compra um firewall.
Lord.
Lord.
Milady.
I
Milady.
received the dame's message. There have been sightings of strange creatures, I understand.
With the blue eyes. Yes. Like a Kashik, but different. They've taken so many. I've lost count.
Akashic, but different.
Ultimus thralls. And what of your mistress? Is she here?
Oh, no. She went to the garrison to ask what they were planning on doing about all this.
Then we'll look for her there.
Vamos lá, visite a guarnição para lutar.
We've seen little and less of the soldiers of late. Anyone would think they were hiding.
Essa geração realmente não engrenou. Cara, olha, eu acho que nem teria muito como engrenar, cara. Os caras estão buscando outra coisa.
Madame, please!
Half the garrison's been slaughtered by those things. We lost the captain this very morning.
We've tried requesting reinforcements, but there's been no word from the capital or the Dominion in days! What more would you have us do?
I would have you do your duty. Those at the Vale look to me for protection. And protect them I shall. Because they are my charges, and that is my duty. In case you have forgotten, the people of this town are your charges. But more than that, they are your people. Your sisters, your brothers, your lovers. So you have a choice. Lay down your sword and watch as they are slaughtered, or take it up and do what is right.
She speaks the truth, you know. This here, it's all we have. It's all that's left.
What we have left is our lives! Do you really want us to lose them as well?
Not if we don't have to. Look, there's a cask under the captain's bunk. Let's talk about this over a drink, eh?
I'm listening.
I'll have a word with him.
Ah, Clive.
Clive.
I didn't expect help to arrive so quickly. And sought to take matters into my own hands.
It was a noble effort, but I thought you might still need some support.
I'd like you to consider my needs.
What we need to consider is where the creatures came from.
The way the survivors speak of them, one would think they appeared out of thin air. And perhaps they did. It's hard to know what to believe these days.
We'll talk to the survivors.
Talk to the survivors.
I can't entirely blame the men of the garrison for losing heart. And they have provided a place for the injured.
Não, os jogos da Ubi são pior que isso aqui, pô. O jogo da Ubi não tem nem o personagem principal. O jogo da Ubi, o personagem principal é uma mulher igual essa daqui, ó. Pior até.
You're a pikeman, yes? What happened?
I've got family in Moor. I heard the flood was spreading, so I went to see it. A pack of them glowing things just found me in the meadow. I ran for my life.
Leave that to us.
My family.
Star Wars vai ser interessante, vai mesmo. Parece, né?
Did you see the creatures that attacked you?
Creatures? Yeah, they came out of nowhere. They went for Joseph first, then me, and then they were just gone.
Do you remember where you were?
On the road from Oriflamme. We just passed Moor when... Where's my Joseph?
It's all right. Just rest now. At least we have an idea of where the thralls might be now. We should head for more.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Olha lá, secou toda aquela colheita deles, né? Volta, tu chegou a jogar The Quarrel. Pra tu que curte jogo matemática, é bom pra caramba. Joguei faz pouco tempo, me surpreendi. Joguei sim. Chegou a virar Prime não, né? Chegou? Pra tu que gosta dos benefícios, vai se amarrar nos benefícios. The Quarry é muito bom, mas eu ainda gostei mais de Little Hope. Já matou. É, porra! Enough. Meu Prime é da tribo. Precisa mais da minha grana. Galera que puder assistir lá na Wiki, deve virar membro lá, agradeço. Hein?
Then we should let Isabel know.
You have the town's thanks.
Don't thank us yet.
Já fez
There will be more. Many more. And you'll need to be ready for them.
Oh, we shall. Isn't that right, Captain?
Yes, milady. The garrison will be ready.
Philippe here has convinced most of the men to remain at their posts.
Flamengo
for
passa.
now, at
Vou
least.
assistir o jogo.
Hearing that the Dane would look kindly on any man who committed himself to the task certainly didn't hurt. It's not the most selfless of motives, I'll admit. But whatever it takes, eh? Now me, I never needed convincing.
Acho que sim.
I became a soldier to protect the people I love. And the people I love include the ones standing before me.
É, se era pra botar um combate tão simples assim no Final Fantasy, que botasse um combate tipo Devil May Cry logo. Seria melhor.
I have sentries to post. Milady.
Lest you wonder, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this has solved all of my problems.
Não, o combate não é igual ao Devil May Cry.
And that's one fewer
Pior.
than I had this morning. Thank you again, Clive.
Essa mulher controla todo mundo porque ela é dona do puteiro, mano. Ela controla todos os homens da cidade porque é dona do puteiro. Mole.
Philippe will make a good captain. He reminds me a little of you, Clive, but without all the mocks and mows.
Dona dos meios de produção. Final Fantasy é melhor? Não acho não. Baltar, tava dando umas placas usadas. Vi que alguém com você ou alguém já recomendou. Tem receio de dar azar. Pô, tem vídeo no canal, cara. Na review computer.
Couldn't run because of the weight of his load. Still, better a branded than one of us.
Should I be worried? You haven't been introduced.
Jill, Clive has told me much about you.
All lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalamil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although, you're a little late. They left with our food and guild days ago. Any idea where they went? The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Ah, as if by magic. Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalimil's little problem. And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing. It will be our own. I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard. Suppose we just follow the shouting.
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men whose throats were slit. Blood for blood, it's the only way. We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
And what happens when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men? Are you going to hire more? We're better off using that coin to buy food and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the only thing we're buying is the bandits' ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
What happens when they come back? Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
That's enough. Both of you. Any more of this and I'll throw you out myself. Come back when you're ready to talk like adults.
Victor. What's he doing here?
Sid. And Lady Jill. What brings you here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalamil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this place might be headed the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire city, for that matter.
We're still working on the skies. But in the meantime, perhaps we can find a solution to Dalamil's problems.
I hope so. For all our sakes.
Essas missões aí são principais, tipo assim, só pra encher linguiça mesmo.
Fucking thieving bastards. As if life hadn't been hard enough round here since the Fang fell.
People take notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
Wow.
Haven't we had enough fighting?
My reputation will be ruined! Ruined!
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac, I beg of you, before you do yourself a mischief.
Pardon the intrusion, but...
Out! Get out! I paid for these rooms so I wouldn't be disturbed. Leave me be!
Please, allow me to apologize. His lordship is going through a difficult time, and he's never been fond of guests arriving unannounced.
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf this instant!
Very good, Lord Ignac. Would you mind stepping outside for a moment?
I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
That? Oh, no. That's just how his lordship is. Though the morning's events have left him somewhat fractious. He has been dispossessed of his luggage, you see. The thieves also made away with a considerable amount of coin. Coin the innkeeper will soon be keen to collect.
I don't suppose a certain blade was among the stolen items. A single-edged sword. It was purchased from a merchant friend of mine.
Ah, you know Lady Karen. Yes,
Then I'll retrieve Lord Ignac's luggage. But I have one condition.
You have but to state it. You are welcome to...
I want an audience with Lord Ignac. A few minutes should be enough.
A condition I would be a fool to refuse. Of course, I did not, no. Though some discreet inquiries made on his lordship's behalf, mean that I know where you might find them. Every ill-gotten coin in Dalamil is set to pass through that.
And that's where I'm heading.
I shall speak to Lord Ignac in your absence, and arrange for an audience.
That will be very kind of you.
Farewell.
Canal vai egípcio. Real Madrid, nada mais. O que aconteceu com o Real Madrid? Caralho, acabou que eu troquei a porra da placa de captura do lugar, troquei a porra toda aqui. O que que tá fazendo? Tá o barulhinho. Já testei. Testei no PC também, né? Mas eu já, na verdade, eu nem sei mais se é o mesmo barulho.
We've got company.
Tem vizinho do lado? Não, só embaixo.
This must be Ignac's luggage. Nothing seems to be damaged. All right. Let's get it back to Dalamil.
Fala aí, Luiz Henrique.
I hear I have you to thank for the return of my effects. What shall I call you, my good man?
Wyvern. Glad to make your acquaintance.
A formidable name indeed.
Indeed.
Well, Wyvern, I appear to be in your debt. Redeem here tells me you wished for an audience. Is that all?
A few moments of your time should suffice, yes.
You're a peculiar fellow, Wyvern. All right. Speak,
Master Wyvern was wondering if you could tell him about a certain single-edged sword you recently acquired.
Oh, a true work of art, that one. Karen drove me hard on the price, but I would have sold her Radim here to get my hands on that sword. It was made in the outer and is used exclusively by the practitioner. They believe no combat should ever exceed. Each sword is made for that one perfect stroke, and for that stroke only. There's a brutal sort of...
But how do they hone such an edge?
Why, they use a whetstone, of course. Whetstones, rather. A whole array of them, ranging from the coarse to the fine. 10,000 licks with the sharpening stone, then 10,000 more. But it is a mineral quite foreign to this great... And that is the key. Wyvern, it occurs to me that my little lecture is hardly equal to services rent. Take this, together with the very stone of which I spoke, and a far more fit.
Thank you.
Pardon the intrusion, my lordship. However, it is
I am locked in bitter competition with a rival collector of curiosities. I am one step ahead of the unscrupulous scoundrel, but he is hard at my heels.
Are there many other collectors out there?
Too many to count, but only one do I consider my nemesis. Lord Byron Rosfield. And is a perennial thorn in my side.
I can imagine.
Farewell, Wyvern. May our paths cross again. Radim, we mustn't dawdle.
I think his lordship is rather taken with you, Master Wyvern. Coming, my lordship. I'll be right there.
Trust Uncle Byron to find such an interesting rival. Now, let's see what Blackthorn makes of this whetstone, shall we?
So?
What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder, that anger and fear could...
My thoughts exactly. Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided...
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy...
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Well, if it were my namesake, he'd let them choose for themselves and be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization would be enough to make them question the ingredients. While it's plain neither Conrad nor Natalie will countenance the other's proposal, it may still be possible to make them doubt their own. Before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other?
When all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits.
It appears we have a plan of action. Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince him of his folly.
As you wish.
Your faces are not well known in this town. Don't worry, Victor and I will do most of the talking. You need only play along.
Play along?
What he means to say is yes.
Picture it, Conrad.
Ah, pior que essa parte foi uma aspas muito grande na história, tá? Toscão mesmo.
Ish, Conrad. May I introduce...
A pleasure, my lady.
The
As I told you, I summoned the commander here from Canver to inquire.
Victor says you told him no, that there aren't any men left to hire. Is that true?
True as the crystals cracked. Nobles came and claimed every last one worth his salt. And not just from us Redwood. You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 200 swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left. If it's boys you're looking for.
Well, Conrad, are you saying that Dalamel's finest cannot defend this town better than a gaggle of unblooded striplings? That a band of beardless youths could better avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not. We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you called the brightest candle in the crypt. And there's a reason why I had you do the talking and not Sid. Well played, my lady.
Well played.
Then let us band together and show these.
I wonder if Conrad has the right of it. He always
Valeu, calça.
Calcinha escorregadia virou Prime. Battle. Saiu a gameplay do novo Test Drive e um MP Solar Crawl. Dá uma olhada em live PS. Tá aparecendo o jogo mobile kkkk.
And we... Ah, here he is now. Nat.
Porra, cara, que missão chata, ó.
All right. But you need...
Bobeira isso aqui.
Thank you, Clyde. She saw... I didn't say... Now, my...
Não,
convinced our roles in this ruse were entirely necessary.
eu quero a campanha, porra. Aí no meio da campanha eles enfiaram esse troço aqui, mó bobeira, pô. Aí vai me dando sono.
Conrad and Natalie with time.
Time no longer... I take it you're... Technically, it would be the bandits who found all.
You're not serious.
They don't just want food, they want the whole...
I have a favor. I'm told very well. The rest, my friend, the city shall fight. Together. The stakes I concede are high. But if this does not unite Dalamil...
That is a lot of faith to put...
Then it will be for us.
I thought you might...
We'll hold them off for as long as we can. And we...
The women folk have come to welcome us.
I'll take that one.
He's all yours.
Merda, errei. Valeu, Asas.
Asas quebradas virou membro.
Valeu, cara.
The townspeople.
Acho que não falta muito, não.
I don't hear any
Acho que eles estão enrolando nessas missões aqui pra... estender o jogo. Valeu, Leone.
Leone Underline B virou Prime. Muita combagem com performagem. Parabéns, my battle.
Valeu, cara. São duas paradas que são difíceis de unir, né?
You did well up.
Without you, you saved.
We all...
Conrad seems to have had a change of heart.
I'd say they both have.
I take it from your presence that our visitors from the desert won't be joining us either. Pity.
The plan worked, Sid. Granted, it only took an army of bloodthirsty bandits at our gate.
Calm now, Victor. Why quibble over the details? We are united, and that is all that matters. As for you, Sid, you fight considerably better.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Salva, tô querendo um upgrade no meus setups. Mas minha dúvida é cruel se eu priorizo Quad HD 144 ou 4K 60. Detalhe, nunca joguei em 4K. E nem 144, não tenho noção. Cara, eu acho que você tem que priorizar o 144 e o 60. Que aí você vai conseguir na maioria dos jogos. Né? É mais fácil você pegar os 4K 60. E aí você pode ligar um DLSS. E você pode ficar ali no ou 4K 60 ou 1440p 60, 70, 80. Eu acho melhor, né? Mais de 60 quadros é só para jogo de corrida e jogo de competitivo. Se puder usar o link do canal aí, agradeço, Asas. O Asas virou membro aí, hein, galera. Vamos virar membro em R$2,99, não custa nada. Porra, não vai poder fazer a porra. Mapa vazio. Caralho, R$2,99 é foda mesmo. R$2,99 o YouTube ainda leva 30%. E os caras não viram Prime. R$2,99 era pra todo mundo ser Prime, pra ter 200 mil Prime. Sério mesmo. Eu queria que o YouTube tivesse a opção de botar o vídeo pago. O vídeo é pago. Vai ser R$1 por vídeo. Pronto. Quem quiser assistir, assiste. Quem não quiser... ninguém ia comprar. Foda-se. Ia comprar e ia ficar sem minha super opinião. Microtransação de vídeo. Aí quem fosse membro assistia tudo de graça por R$2,99.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
Was wondering when you turn up. Hello. How is it you always manage to arrive?
Luck, I suppose. Any word on the rest of them?
Let's see. Storms the nations are still in chaos.
Right.
Clive, we knew this was gonna happen. Well, now's the time to visit the infirmary.
Thank you, Otto.
Vamos ver. Não, é porque essa parte aí ficou chata pra caralho, pô. Ontem tava maneirão.
So it was not Sylvester, but Olivier who served as Ultima's puppet. And when Dion learned of this, he sought to slay the fiend. only for his father to take the spear that would have freed him. Enough to drive a man to madness.
Small wonder he hasn't stirred. I would be afraid to wake.
Had I but reached out to him sooner, warned him of the threat Ultima posed. But now, both an empire and her prince lie broken.
Joshua, what do you know of Ultima?
Very little, I'm afraid. Despite my best efforts. 18 years ago, as I lay buried beneath the rubble of Phoenix Gate, 'twas not death who came for me, but another. And it was while in my rescuer's care I first heard of Ultima. I've been chasing his shadow ever since. Ultima is driven by some deep, dark purpose, and for whatever reason, it would seem you are crucial to his designs. He will stop at nothing to have you, even if that means toppling an empire.
But why me? What possible use could I be to such a creature?
That is one of many answers that have eluded me. Yet, I am certain of this. It is not mere chance. You were chosen for a reason. All dominants carry within them the might of an icon. Nigh limitless power that is at once acutely limited. I wield fire, and only fire.
And I only ice. 8 wardens for 8 elements. But you, Clive.
You are different. You're special. Your abilities begin with the flames of Ifrit. But they do not end there. The fact Ifrit can even exist goes against everything we thought we knew of dominance. Perhaps Ultima has been waiting for one such as you, whose potential is truly limitless.
I've encountered that thing several times now. If it or he, as you say, needs me, why hasn't he claimed me as he did the boy?
Were I to hazard a guess, I'd say the two of you are somehow incompatible. His mind not properly attuned to your body.
His mind?
Mind, awareness, spirit, call it what you wish. But I believe Ultima to be an embodiment of the concept. This is why I struggle and fail to contain him here inside me.
I'm sorry. Inside you?
With every setting sun, I feel my strength wane. And though the Phoenix's flames mend the prison I have made for Ultima, they do so at a cost. We must find a means to bring an end to him before I meet my own.
What were you thinking?
It was that or let him take Clive. And I've always had a soft spot for my brother.
But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself to save me.
Tá com a mesma coisa que o Sidorf.
Joshua. Clive, it's Gav. There's an army of Akashic at the gates of Canver.
É, tá com a mesma coisa que o Sidorf.
Well, what's the short of it?
It's all Tyre told you. The capital of the Free Cities is under siege by an army of monstrosities. The city guard are doing their best to stem the tide, but numbers ain't on their side.
What of Lord Byron and Mid? Were they able to escape?
No, but they're all right for now. They're hiding with Gav at midship.
We have to get them out of there.
And we shall. Otto, prepare a Stolas. Tell Gav to stay exactly where he is.
Understood.
Understood command.
What's the swiftest route to the Free Cities?
That sounds like a question for the map.
Look here. This road, through Tabor, should provide the least trouble.
Good.
What a coincidence. Tabor is exactly where I'm bound.
Joshua, bed is where you should be bound.
Pô, cadê a novinha amiga dele?
The exact same thing.
Were Tyre not such a talented healer, I would surely have been inclined to agree. But, thanks to her ministrations, I feel I may safely rejoin my attendant, who was to wait for me in Tabor if we became
tá.
All right, we travel together.
Clive.
If he stays close to me, he'll be fine.
Thank you, brother.
I'll look after him.
My attendant was with me in the Dominion before I primed. She would have watched the battle unfold and witnessed its outcome. I trust you'll be waiting for me in Tabor, where I can finally introduce you. My attendant was with me in the Dominion before...
You know how I feel about this. But your brother's stubbornness knows no bounds. I'm starting to think it runs in the family.
Aqui, ó, que eu matei, ó. Cadê? Aqui. Ranking S, ó. Cadê o Léo aí que falou que eu não ia matar o Ranking S? Esse aqui é C. B, A, S. Tem mais um S. Tá parecendo Monster Hunter. Pra mim, FPS acima de 30 só faz um dano substancial. Ah, que isso, Michel Luiz. Vira membro aí, cara. Você fica só se aproveitando aí da kick, cara. Não fode.
Sorry for the wait, but hopefully you'll agree it was worth it.
You learned something about that sword, then?
I did better than that.
Valeu, Uchi.
Whetstone.
O Tsig virou Prime.
But not one you'll find anywhere in Valestia.
Ó, galera, quem puder dar uma moral lá no Prime Day, hein? Aproveita pra comprar o ketchup da Heinz, hein?
Not one hit and all done, eh? Might not be so bad if all you ever fought were duels. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent will be your last, no matter...
Even so, is there some way it could be used to give the Curse Breakers an edge?
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could probably even make a twin of the blade that rattled me. But there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that. Swords that the Curse Breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them through a single fire piece. Nah, no point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax anvil. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine, now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Or more hard-wearing, for that matter. Just imagine it. Good Valesthian steel with an edge as sharp as any found in the Outer Isles. I won't make a copy, nah. I'll make something much better.
I'm sure the Curse Breakers will be delighted. Just don't push yourself too hard.
Don't you worry about me, sunshine. I've been working day and night since I was half your age, and I'll still be here when you're long gone.
Sunshine.
Hey, thanks,
My
Clive.
only sunshine.
I owe you one. August 2. It's good to know someone's looking out for me.
You'll be happy to hear you said that.
And I'll see that my debt to you's paid. First new blade I make's got your name on it. You come and find me when you've got the materials.
All right. I will.
Casa de ferreiro, espeta de pau. Caraca, Excalibur, cara. Diagrama detalhado dos passos para forjar a Excalibur. Caraca, Excalibur. Projeto da Scali. Pô, Excalibur é pra endgame? É, a Scali é pra endgame?
What do I owe the honor?
So, will it be?
Tum, 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 tum. Mas onde é que eu vejo mesmo a Scali, hein? Onde é que eu vejo? Inventário. Esquema da escala, um diagrama detalhado necessário para fazer a escala. Porra, caraca, eu não posso simplesmente ir lá resolver a missão, cara. Do repouso da Marta, a porra vai ficar ali mostrando na minha tela eternamente. Ah. Puta que o pariu. Não dá pra tirar. Dalméquia Central. Acho que vai dar pra voltar. Vai vir aqui e voltar. Esse moleque vai pro saco no game, hein? Será que Ultima tá usando ele?
It's like a dream.
Capa e adaga. Ah, lá, dá pra eu voltar. É, a parada volta sozinho, porra. É, o moleque veio mesmo. Será que ele luta comigo?
Clive, we weren't expecting.
I wasn't expecting, but it seems we still owe you. And though I doubt it...
A star, Ruby? It's worth at least twice what you owe me.
Think of the difference as interest.
Interest? If word got out I charged that much, no one would ever borrow from me anyway. Why are you the one here asking me about a bit much sending the Lord Marquis out to settle your debts, isn't it?
Something like that. Most days I think he's the...
Same as always, eh? Back when the place was nothing but a twinkle in the eye of a recently retired Lord Commander, word is he was the first one Sid reached out to. Probably knew that without his strong arm and level head, the idea would never get off the ground. Sid may have been the face of the hideaway, but Otto's always been the backbone. And when Sid passed away, we were all worried that would be the end of it. That Otto would just give up.
His death was hard on everyone. But it must have hit Otto hardest of all.
But he didn't give up, did he? Quite the opposite, in fact. If I recall, he was the one who nominated you as Sid's replacement. And rallied. I reckon what he saw in Sid, he saw in you too. And don't we all? Doesn't hurt that you're half as stubborn and twice as handsome, neither. That, and you keep good company.
I suppose I do.
Se eu vou continuar o Zelda, acho que sim, cara. Mas eu também queria jogar o Jedi. Jedi Fallen Order. Ué, retorno de Marta. Entregue o rubi estelar para Isabel. Não. Aqui, ó. No Ricão Setentre. E não... É, eu tenho que terminar o primeiro ainda.
Nothing like a little unrest.
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
Fallen Order é maneirão, mas o Survival não é nem 50% do primeiro. Sério, cara? É ruim Survival?
Milady, I come bear
gifts. Oh my.
My God.
Clive, you really have outdone yourself.
Otto asked me to give it to you to settle the hideaway's debt with the Veil, and to compensate you for the time it took us to do so.
You disappoint me, Clive. I thought you might finally be warming to me.
Porra, vai se apaixonar pela mulher do puteiro, tendo uma novinha do lado dele. Porra, novinha que só vive pra ele.
Owes me nothing, nor does the hideaway. My contribution to the restoration effort was made freely and willingly. It was the least I could do.
You once told me Sid did you a kindness. I'd like to do the same. Please, accept it. And for Otto's, for all of us.
Otto is lucky to have you, Clive. I doubt anything could ever replace his son. But you and the others at the hideaway are the closest thing he has to family.
Otto had a son.
Long ago, yes. Sid told me Otto lost him when he was just a boy, and blamed himself for not being able to stop it. I don't know how it happened, whether there was anything he could have done, but it was clear that it weighed heavily on him.
I didn't know.
How could you have? I doubt anyone did. Besides Sid, I've never met a man more keen to bear his sorrows in stoic silence. An ill habit, given that both have always been surrounded by friends desperate to help them.
I'm beginning to see that. Goat will want to know the stones were delivered, if he's still with us.
Volte para o esconderijo e fale com Gaulas.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that. Cole told us everything that happened. It's a bit of a worry that both the Republican and him.
Eu tava vendo o Dava tava jogando assim, ó. Ele zerou rapidão assim, porque assim o Clive vai mais rápido, ó.
Goat. Still alive, I see. So Lady Karen accepted the...
Ah, but she was just too stubborn to take it. She threw it right back in my face, in fact, and told me I could stick my stupid stone where the sun don't shine.
Karen refused payment. I'm sure you were as tactful as ever. I mean...
Wonderful.
Vamos lá pra Lady Karen. Cara, tipo assim, é doido como... Eu não sei se é coisa da minha cabeça, mas o Final Fantasy VII original, ele parecia ser muito maior do que esses jogos aqui. É maior mesmo ou é coisa da minha cabeça, cara?
Lady Karen, Goat tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
Well, I may have tossed a talent or two in the Hideaway's coffers, but those were donations. And you can hardly call it charity if you go asking for it back.
Of course not. But one good turn deserves another. And our circumstances have changed. Surely you wouldn't shun
Tanto
the
maior
gratitude of
que
a
são
pauper
3 no remake agora.
Oh, so you're a prince now, are
Tá um
you?
bom preço sim, Joanão. Vou pegar os links do canal pra ajudar, hein.
Mode, then you're getting the rest whether you like it or not.
Tem a da Asus também, a da Asus não tá mais barata não?
A decent trader might nab 1,000 talents for a star ruby. A canny one, meanwhile, might claim it were nicked from the belt of Sid the Outlaw himself and ask twice as much. Might be I already have a buyer in mind. Might be you even know her. A fine continental maid whose beauty's only eclipsed by a guile in commerce. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Just be sure to tell her that it's always a pleasure doing business.
FTC acabou de entrar com recurso de novo. A Microsoft não pode fechar o acordo com a Activision.
I hear you ended up delivering all 3 stones. Thanks to this lump. I sometimes wonder what I pay you for.
Speaking of which, I still haven't been paid last month's wages.
Oh, so you remember what's owed to you then? Get your ass behind that disc of yours and don't get up before those ledgers are square.
Right away.
I've seen that before.
You have, yeah. Plenty of times. It was the only goblet Sid ever used. Either out of habit, or because the filthy sod couldn't be bothered to find a clean one.
I knew so little about him.
Like most people.
Martha and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of him.
Huh. I bet they do.
How long did you know Sid before he...
Before he died. 20 summers, give or take. Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship, which is where I met him. He bought passage to... I forget where. And having nothing better to do on the long nights, we set up drinking island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to my duties. Quit my post not long after that. On account of making a fine maiden's belly fat. But me and Sid stayed close, promising we'd one day sail the seas again. That was before fate stepped in and said she was having none of it. The magic woke inside my son soon after his first name day, and there was no hiding his knack.
Couldn't you and your family have...
My family were the ones who summoned the constable, wanted the monster taken away. I couldn't turn my back on him, forget what I felt, and I couldn't for the life of me understand how they could. Luckily, Sid was of the same mind as me. It was him who stood beside me when all I wanted was to tear the whole world down. Him who cried for me when I had no tears left of my own. Him who swore he'd do everything he could to stop it from happening again. And he was true to his word, too. Left the royal army once and for all. His ranks, his ribbons, gone. Just like that. Threw away everything he had. All to right a wrong that no one else had the courage to face. I knew then I'd follow that man to the ends of the earth.
E flashback. Valeu, Bruno.
Bruno de São virou pra ir.
He was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone. But he didn't let it stop him. He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod, if ever he should fall. But I couldn't even do that. Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
Será que eu vou virar tired old man um dia?
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. Love you, you grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
E aí, sem o Clive, estaríamos perdidos?
Just once. Before he went. But then, why would he? Him, or anyone? I'd only have told him to piss off.
Sem o Clive, a gente já tá igual a Xbox sem game da Final Fantasy.
You're wrong, though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction. I barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
É muito comunismo nesses games, né? O pessoal vivendo em sociedade. Canídia com a novinha.
Would you rather go at the helm?
Well, maybe I've got a few more years left in me.
I'm going to hold you to that, Otto.
Otto.
Before you go, Sid would have wanted you to have this.
But that's...
É, eu tô ligado, é a música tema dele, mas eu achei a música tema tosca. Eu também achei, cara, tipo assim, as músicas são boas em alguns momentos, mas em alguns bosses a música fica aquela música techno, não gostei muito. E também tem uma partezinha da música do combate que não é legal. E eu não gostei deles ficarem misturando a música dos outros Final Fantasy aqui. Olha o DK! Valeu aí, Arnaldo 3K. Valeu, cara. Valeu pela força. Temido DK. Sigam aí na Kik, hein, galera.
Mindless though they are, an Akashic horde large enough to besiege the free cities is not to be trifled with. We must proceed with caution.
Virem Kik. Pô, mas aí tu pedir pro seguidor dos outros virar Kik é foda, porque Kik é caro pra caralho. Aí vacilo.
So, will it be?
So, would it be?
Anything else?
Anything else? Vamos ver se a velha tem alguma coisa.
Go on then.
Ela só tem as porra que o cara tem, porra. Qual é? Porra. Qual a diferença dela pro cara? Carrega ataques mágicos automaticamente. Aumenta a quantidade de geração. Aumenta a quantidade de geração de excedência. Nem pra isso os caras fizeram. Ela tem 3 músicas, ó. Atoleiro Adentro, Bela, Escura e Vasta e Terrores Noturnos. Terrores Noturnos é
I'll
barato.
find a better price than that.
It seems the hideaway.
Blasted.
Vamos ver. Nem tem música. A velha me enganou.
Blasted book.
É, Devil May Cry é o rockzinho, né? Mas também acho...
Ivan's newest dish is a masterpiece.
Ah, o cara tá comendo aquela merda.
The urge to gag, that is. Ivan's newest dish is a masterpiece. Once you get over the urge to gag, that is.
Canva's walls will not hold the Akashic horde for long. We can only hope they hold it for long enough.
Long enough. Galera, eu vou ver o jogo da Mengão. Eu queria ter avançado mais na história, mas... a história ficou... tive que fazer aquela missão idiota. Vocês estão ouvindo os estalinhos aqui agora? Ouve? Botei na caixa de som, vamos ver. Vamos ver. Parou, para, né? É, cara, é alguma interferência aqui do wireless. Wireless. E ele começa sem depois que ele começa a fazer. Tem que procurar. Pô, não cheguei a 1000 seguidores ainda aqui. Tem que decidir o que eu vou fazer da minha vida, né? Galera, tudo indo embora da Twitch. Prime aqui, caiu pra 860. Já troquei o fone de ouvido já botamos 3 fones diferentes. Se começou recentemente, talvez depois que eu tenha vindo pra cá, porque antes não tinha não. Antes não tinha. Não sei se pode ser aterramento. No lugar dos estalos fica a ausência de um. Tem 2 semanas que começou. Não, no Zelda eu já ouvia. Quando eu tava jogando Zelda eu já tava ouvindo. Se tem aterramento, eu acho que não. Pega um papel alumínio pra testar, mas o que eu vou fazer com o papel alumínio? É mais fácil eu voltar a usar o fone com fio. Xota, vira membro aí, R$2,99, cara. A porra é R$2,99, tu não quer que eu faça serviço exclusivo pros caras? Caralho, solta vídeo não sei o que, faz live exclusiva. Pô, exclusiva é minha caceta. Já sou o Tipa. Vira membro aí agora, pô. Tem que unificar. É Tipa, membro no YouTube, Prime e Kik. É R$50 por mês, cara. Tu paga mais no Netflix e não assiste nenhum filme. É, mas o serviço é diferenciado. Quando você assiste o Netflix, você não tem um cara pra ficar conversando direto com você. Entendeu? Eu tô com medo de comprar o meu PlayStation 5 e vir com esse problema. Que problema, cara? Isso não é um PlayStation 5, cacete. Porra, o maluco tá achando que foi o problema do PlayStation 5. Caralho. O problema tá acontecendo nos fones sem fio aqui. Nesse daqui, no Logitech, no fone do PlayStation, todos são sem fio. Se eu ligo ele na caixa, na minha placa de som, não acontece. Eu quero entender por quê. Às vezes tem alguma interferência eletromagnética aqui do eletromagnetismo. É porque o áudio não é 3D, né? Eu pensava que era o console. Não, tô doido. Não. Vou usar um chapéu de alumínio, chapéu de cone, né? Galera, eu vou lá, vou ver o jogo. Talvez depois do jogo até entre aqui pra bater um papo com a galera, fazer uma live de bate-papo, que o Todão tá trabalhando. Beleza? Então tamo junto. Fui.